Tippy time, my damies, Top Cat here and welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy to revisit our Stasis Hunter and its mad damage resistance it can get, surpassing that of Woven Mail. I ran it through the coil while solo with Drifting Apart active to see just how much I could tank, and the answer is a lot. At base we have 10% ramping all the way up to a possible 99. But it's not just about DR, I love the mechanics of Stasis. It's similar to both Scorch and Ignition, and this still makes that dance of slow and freeze fun to this day. We've got 10-second grenades, 10-second dodge, and 10-second melee. So make sure to smash that thumbs if you're vibing, but it all begins with the Renewal Grasps. These enhance our Dustfield grenades, they enhance the radius of our grenades, and add a crystal into the center of them. Allies inside a Dustfield take reduced damage, and targets inside a Dustfield deal reduced damage. For those newer players, it's easier to think about these grenades giving Woven Mail and applying Sever. Whilst we're inside the radius, we receive 25% less damage, and the damage output from our enemies is reduced by 50%. The Dustfield grenades required at base have an 8 meter radius. This jumps to 12 meters with the renewals. This is ample enough space to accommodate an entire fire team, so you can use it much like a damage resistance rift. For me, Dustfields are the perfect grenade to deal with champs, as they can slow to stun overloads and can quickly freeze to stun unstops. Dustfields apply 30 slow stacks a second, so in a bit over 3 seconds we've got a freeze, we've got an unstop. The best application of this grenade is attacking from within. This way you can get both versions of the damage resistance working for you, and you'll be nice and close to pick up the spoils left behind. Now, most people might believe the Touch of Winter aspect to be a no-brainer. However, personally, I believe it to be a bit of a waste. Yes, it does bump our enhanced Dustfields from 12 meters to 14 meters, and yes, it does make that Stasis crystal in the middle a little bit larger. But in the artifact, we've got some great perks this season, and this is already doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to shatter damage. I don't think that bump in scale is worth it, to be honest. Not when the renewals have already taken it 90% of the way there. And really the primary reason we want that crystal in the middle of the Dustfield is for Whisper of Chains. Whilst you are near frozen targets or friendly stasis crystals, you take reduced damage from targets. This grants us another 40% damage resist. The Corrupted Grandmaster Nightfall has a lot of dense ag control, so as a troop movement deploys, I plant a grenade at my feet. This gives me the time to tank shots as I set my ordnance or peek from cover. Even in the coil with Drifting Apart active while solo and no means to heal, I could still sit there and tank all the Scorn Scorch stomps and take him down. And the radius of this is actually 10 meters, so it extends past the grenade's radius. However, to use this efficiently, we do want a heavy uptime with our grenades. I'm currently leaning away from melee and grenade kickstarters, as the nerf to them at the launch of Season of the Wish hit them quite hard. But even without them, I can still have a grenade back in as little as 8 seconds. At tier 3 discipline, this is a 91 second grenade. We're running at tier 10, this jumps to 45 seconds. Then we equip Whisper of Shards. When shattering stasis crystals, this temporary boosts your grenade recharge rate. This is a 500% grenade recharge increase for 6 seconds. When we shatter crystals, this increases the duration of this benefit. Now every grenade we have has that little icicle in the middle of it. Ideally you want to leave that crystal standing so you can make the most of that 40% DR for as long as possible. A bit more than 10 seconds though, this crystal will begin to dissipate, so make sure you destroy it for that grenade regeneration before it does. Whisper of Torment goes further again. We gain grenade energy each time you take damage. This is 4% energy every time you take damage. However, this jumps up to 16.7% grenade energy once your shields are broken. The Withering Blade melee saw multiple buffs in Season 23. It got a 10% speed buff, a 10% lifetime buff. This helps out a lot as it also got a ricochet buff from 2 to 3 bounces and increased targeting. These apply 50 slow stacks to each target they hit, so with 2 melee charges we can freeze on command. With the Grim Harvest aspect, this will grant stasis shards whenever you defeat a slowed or frozen target. These shards grant us melee energy whenever we pick these up. These give us about 12% of your melee charge back. Whilst this doesn't sound as amazing as a Fire Sprite or Void Breach's 33%, these don't have a cooldown, so we can constantly have these on the battlefield. Gambler's Dodge will return us a melee charge when we dodge next to an enemy. Winter's Shroud is the aspect I've chosen to run instead of Touch of Winter. This will apply slow stacks whenever we dodge next to an enemy, and it's got a decent range at around 8 meters. Anything that gives us more slow stacks is going to be a good thing for this build. This will feed us more shards, and more shards means more melees. And it also creates us more freeze combos. You could melee dodge, grenade dodge, melee grenade. Whisper of Durance buffs our entire slow kit. Slow applied from this goes from 3 seconds to 6.5 seconds. And it can make both our super and grenade more deadly, as it's pushing those slow stacks faster after that freeze, so we'll get more freeze and shatter ignitions. And my last fragment is going to be Whisper of Refraction. By defeating slowed or frozen targets, we are granted class ability Energy. Despite Gamblers having that longer cooldown and Bungie having many attempts to nerf it, we can still have our dodge back in under 10 seconds. As I touched on earlier, we're not using grenade kickstarters despite running a grenade build. The Stasis kit feeds off one ability into the next, so a mod should do the same. Bolstering Detonation gives us class energy when we do grenade damage. Impact Induction reduces our grenade cooldown when we apply melee damage. Outreach gives us melee energy when we dodge, and Bomber gives us grenade energy when we dodge. Because we're not using Kickstarters, I can spend my armor charge on even more tankiness with the Emergency Reinforcement mod. I've balanced my artifact to work well on Solar, Stasis and Strand weapons. Lament is a very good weapon for this kit, as it offers us an easy means of healing, as the recuperation mod is really the only way to expedite our recovery. The Navigator can apply Sever and Woven Mail, which will stack on top of our Stasis DR to make us virtually unkillable, and the artifact can give us those unraveling particles, which spread really well off the back of Shatter. You'll want one Solar Precision weapon to give yourself Radiant. My favourite has been the Tyranny of Heaven, as you can also do Area of Effect damage. Aegis Scepter is also very strong for those who don't enjoy the super. Not me, however. This super is tremendously strong at ad clear. There are many points in this GM where it just like clears the battlefield, so yeah, love this super to pieces. Don't write it off. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. I think you'll need to give this blue turtle a go. This is just Strand but better, at least in terms of Hunter DR. I've left a dim link in the description below. Make sure to smash that thumbs if you dug it, sub if you're new, and until next time, tippy tie my damies, what a tie.